All right, we'll call to order the Liquor Control Commission meeting. John Johnson, you're up.
Thank you. So we have 3 renewals of liquor licenses for the Putney Diner. Actually, RAR, Gabe LLC, doing business as the Putney Diner. They have a first class and a third class, and then they have a permit to serve alcohol on the porch. This is a renewal. Water and sewer are paid. There's no tax delinquency, no complaints that I'm aware of. As you might recall, the process here is that everything is done through a web portal. So it asks for a motion that you authorize me to approve the license renewals through the web portal.
I move that we authorize the town clerk to approve the license renewals through the portal.
Second.
Any discussion from the board?
Nope.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jonathan.
All right, we're gonna adjourn the Liquor Control Commission meeting and call to order the regular select board meeting. Any adjustments to the agenda?
I have one. Item 10, boards, committees, and commissions. Can I add item B? And it's a request to fly the Pan-Africa flag.
Okay. All right, select board announcements.
Eileen has 2, but she's not here.
It's like you're up, Fletcher.
Well, appears to be, see, I can do justice to this, Eileen. Letter from Sevka. Dear friends, on behalf of the staff and board of Sevka, I want to extend our deepest gratitude to the residents of Putney for the generous gift of $3,355.60 with check dated December 12, 2025. This support is a powerful investment in our mission to empower individuals, families, and communities across Windham and Windsor County. For early education and childcare to housing, from early education and childcare to housing stabilization, fuel assistance, weatherization, home repair, tax preparation, financial coaching, micro business support, and Sevka being a community resource, your generosity strengthens these programs that help our communities thrive. The kindness of your town and residents helps to ensure that these vital services remain strong and effective, providing both immediate relief and long-term opportunities for our neighbors to succeed. Your gift also sustains Sevka's vital role as an anchor institution for advocacy and community action. We are deeply grateful for your partnership and commitment to building a stronger, more resilient community. With sincere thanks and appreciation, Joshua Davis, Executive Director. And we also have a flyer for upcoming events from the Vermont League of Cities and Towns. Let's see, February 4, that happened this morning, Select Board onboarding and board development tips. Tomorrow, town meeting tune-up all day. That'll be in Montpelier. The 9th, advocacy chat from 1 to 2 p.m. That's a Zoom meeting. And the 12th is attorney office hours. I assume that's any questions you might have. The 19th, intro to CHIP, Vermont's $2 billion housing and infrastructure program, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Zoom webinar. The 26th, introduction to Case Builder, 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Also a Zoom webinar.
So there's one more item. Windham County Lead Hazard Control and Healthy Homes Capacity Building Program. Email was sent to my office and to the chair, Eric McGowan. This group is asking to be on the select board agenda for a future meeting. They would like 10 to 15 minutes to provide an overview of the program, share updates on contractor training and other capacity building progress, offer materials you can use to share information with residents, and ask for guidance on how best to reach contractors and property owners in your community. If you remember, I think it was a year ago, Sheriff Anderson was in here talking about this program, and it's now morphed into a bigger agency. And there's also a 2-page, well, 1.25 page description of the program that was in your packet. So what is the select board's wish?
I think we should put them on.
Yeah, it's
For
absolutely.
the next meeting,
As long
if
as
they
it's,
can make it.
And I see this as part of the substandard housing rehabilitation more generally, but certainly lead is a priority concern.
And that was the basis of this group getting started. And I will be sharing this with the planning commission because they are doing all kinds of housing initiatives. So I will get this to Sue Coakley.
go ahead.
I just wanted to let folks know that the town manager evaluation form is ready to go out this week, and it will go to us as select board members to direct reports. We'll have the option to participate if they would like to. Town committees and commission chairs can expect to get a copy of it. It's an online evaluation form. A group of colleagues of Karen's, as well as a group of community members that have been identified as working closely with Karen, and Karen will do her self-evaluation as well, and then I'll collate those. I'll put that all together and we'll bring it to an executive session in a month or so.
Okay.
With a new board, potentially.
Oh, wait. No, let's do it before then.
All right, so
Let's see, what do we have? How many do we have? Oh,
we only have one more before town meeting.
never mind. We'll do it with a new board.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It may not change. There's only one contested seat.
Right, but it with
New
the
season.
the
Yes.
seasoned.
Yep.
Right.
All right, moving on. Public comment not on items not on the agenda. Anybody in the room or online? Mr. Fairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, Deerfield Valley Fiber confirmed to me this morning via email that, quote, "At this time, we cannot provide service in your area," unquote, meaning Putney. A few years ago, when the town of Putney joined the Deerfield Valley Fiber Communications Union District, then was told that everywhere else would be connected to broadband internet before Putney, I promised to monitor developments for when the time would be right to do something else. The time is right now. When Verizon kept its cell phone business and sold its landline business to Consolidated Communications, this legacy copper wire telephone network dating from when the telephone was invented was obsolete, both technologically and as more and more customers gave up their landlines. Now Consolidated Communications, rebranded as Fidium Fiber since September 2025, must replace this legacy copper wired network with a fiber optic network to remain in business. Fidium Fiber now is preparing to replace this legacy copper wired telephone network in Putney with a fiber optic network providing broadband internet to every building that is connected to the legacy copper wired telephone network. Everyone who wants it should navigate your web browsers to fidiumfiber.com/preorder-VT, enter your E911 address, then complete the form to sign up for expedited free installation. Fidium will do the rest because they must to remain in business, which is why the time is right now to extend gratis broadband internet throughout Putney. Even if you already have broadband internet, a Fidium fiber connection to your building will create competition on service and price. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fairman. Laura?
Hi, thanks. I noticed on the ballot that we have a contested seat and that our beloved moderator does not seem to be running again, and we have a new person running for town moderator. So historically, I have done forums to support the public in being able to meet with candidates for select board and sometimes for other seats. And I really don't have capacity to do that this year. I'm wondering if there's a possibility. I know we have an upcoming info session at the fire department. I'm wondering if there's a possibility, I'm just planting a bug, that the town attaches a forum to that afterwards, since BCTV will already be there, and invites people to come and share who they are, the candidates, and the public to get to know them. No, don't have to answer it now. Just putting that out there.
Okay, we'll take that into consideration. Thank you. Any other public comment? No. All right, moving on. Approval of minutes for January 21st, 2026.
I move we approve the minutes of January 21, 2026 as drafted.
Second.
Good. Eileen, anything? Okay. Anybody else?
No.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, moving on. Warrants to the treasurer. Can I hear a motion?
I guess that must be me.
That's you tonight too.
I move approval of the warrants upon completion of review.
Second.
All you.
All me?
All you.
All right. Payroll warrant dated February 6, 2026 in the amount of $23,500.20. In this payroll is 76 hours of overtime for highway department, and then 30 hours of double time. So their payroll for the 2 weeks equated to $15,035.31. So.
And I personally would like to commend the highway department for, I woke up at, 3 o'clock in the morning a few days ago because of flashing yellow lights on Main Street, and realized that they were out there clearing all the snow down Main Street at that time, which was really nice and good work.
They did an excellent job, putting in a lot of hours, and there's a warm spell coming, so we're gonna take advantage of that. Accounts payable, January 24th through February 6th, 2026, in the amount of $83,138.71. In this warrant, you will see Cargill Incorporated, that is our salt. There's 4 loads of salt for $9,689.42. We just had a delivery this week. It's about 24 tons of salt that was delivered, and our salt shed is not quite half full. So, we're gonna hope for good weather. And, you know, you get more snow, we're just gonna be conservative because we don't know when the next truckload's coming.
Well, the old rule of thumb used to be that if you still had half your cordwood on February 1, you were in good shape. Hopefully that applies to salt as well.
We'll see, we still have a couple months.
It's that darn groundhog.
Yeah, varmint. What else is like unusual in here? Irving Energy, I can say that we need to do an emergency call. Last week, town garage was out of propane, but they came the same day and filled the tank. Propane don't seem to last as long when it's out in the cold. So, but I think trying to keep the trucks, you know, charged and, you know, the heat up so they don't freeze. It's pretty tight in that garage, but let's see what else. Yeah, so that's about, other than VLCT passive, which is our insurance, $23,507.40 is a quarterly payment. You do see all the electric. It's been cold, so, you know, fire station's up. They have to plug in trucks too. Sewer plant, I gotta figure that one out. But it's been cold.
Eric, I don't have them in front of me, so I'll abstain.
Okay. Is that it, Karen? You're all set?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, back to you, Karen, with the town manager's report.
Oh man, I have to find it now. I need a bigger desk. So first I'm gonna update with the highway department. So again, the crew has had a busy start to the winter with plowing, sanding and salting quite a few times now. We have had, I don't know what this means, we have had some minor backdowns which were fixed, breakdowns, which were fixed fairly quickly. Snow removal was completed last Friday. Thank you, Fletcher, for acknowledging that our highway department did a great cleanup. You know, the state came by on Route 5 and plowed their snow onto our plowed sidewalks. So the next morning, our crew went out. They did take down all of the, you know, blind spots from the snow piles, and they did replow our sidewalks. So they did an excellent job. They came in at 2 a.m. They left around 9 a.m. So, and I'm okay with that, you know. So I just want to say thank you to the highway department. I know they've been working hard, and you know, knock on wood, everything's they're making it happen. The crew will be working on a couple of the plows in the next couple of weeks. They're changing out blades on a couple of the plows and doing welding fabrication on the one-ton plow. Putney and Dummerston and myself met with Bazin Brothers and Maine Blasting at the gravel pit last week to talk about next steps on getting ready for the blasting. It's looking like probably in a couple weeks. Maine Blasting seems very professional. I trust Bazin Brothers. Jeff Bernstein was there. You know, every communication is going straight to Bazin Brothers, and you know, they're coordinating with Maine Blasting. I know the highway department will be taking an MSHA class this Friday, I believe, because you have to be certified to be in the pit. And it's not a spectator sport, so only certified people can be at the blasting site. So we will keep the board apprised when we have a date. So VIII Brothers will notify all the abutters and some of the surrounding businesses in the school. There will be a rolling roadblock, and the sheriff's department has been hired to do that on Interstate 91. There will be signs when the blast is going to occur, so traffic will be stopped. But as a safety precaution, it's required in the blast plan. So we'll see what happens. So again, Lenny mentions the salt shortage and receiving the one load. We can't get a date when the next one's coming. It's coming out of Portsmouth, New Hampshire, but it gets dumped there. The trucking company grabs it and brings it to us. And Lenny also would like to thank the crew for their hard work this winter so far. So. Town manager's report. So January 29th, Vermont Council on Rural Development was at Putney Central School. It was another great turnout. Fletcher was there and Eileen was there. There had to have been, 150 people. And some people that were new, that did not experience the first BCRD process. So the takeaways for me was recreation, public playgrounds, arts, and land development and housing. So up on this board, those are 21 ideas that came out of the process back in the fall of 22. So as a reminder, and now again from Thursday's meeting, the community is speaking and they're asking for certain things. And I think it's important that we listen and hear them. And again, the task forces that were created back in 23, which was housing, Discover Putney, which was revitalization of the downtown, so they morphed into Discover Putney, and develop a community center. They had tables there, and they had success stories at the tables, and I appreciated everybody's engagement and what they presented. I thought it was a great night. So. We received payment from Parkman Wood Road Culvert in the amount of $166,096.01. That is the final payment for the FEMA closeout on that culvert. And that was what, 23 that happened? But we got the money.
It's record time with FEMA.
Sometimes you get a battle for that money. VTrans sidewalk project is moving forward on Route 5 for the crosswalk. I executed a contract with GPI Greenman Peterson. They are an at-the-ready state consultant, so we didn't have to put it out to bid. We had a list, and we did interview 3 at-ready consultants, and we chose GPI, and that work is going to start soon. The Planning Commission will have a full report on February 18th. But yeah, we're going to do a project kickoff hopefully next week. Reminder, third installment of property taxes are due February 20th, 2026. That's a Friday. We will be open from 8 a.m. until 4:30 p.m. Town reports may be arriving soon in the mail. And I want to take the liberty to thank Kim Monroe on her extensive work on this report. A lot goes into this town report, if somebody takes the time to really look at it. And I also want to thank Rachel Ryan for chasing down the agency reports. So again, a tremendous amount of time and energy is spent compiling this report, and some of this information comes from our audit, NEMRIC reports, and other sources. So great job, Kim. You know, we're going to shoot for that VLCT award this year. But they have put a lot of time and effort into this, and it you'll be impressed when you see it. Meeting with recap next week. No, not next week, but February 17th. They're a consultant to potentially assist with options for a second well. Alyssa Sabetto from Windham Regional Commission will also be attending that meeting with me. So I'm excited, and I hope this works out, because this is something that we need to be looking at right now, especially with all the potential housing. I met with Landmark College along with Sue Coakley to discuss 78 River Road and other properties owned by Landmark. We talked about public safety and how Landmark can work with the town. So it's building the relationship. It's been there. They have some new faculty and administrative people. So Sue and I are developing that communication.
Which is 78 River Road.
That is the 5 Maples,
Okay.
or the old field house, right? So
It's 5 Maples, 78 is,
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
yeah, but it used to be the old field house for Windham
Yeah, that's
College,
true.
right?
Well, not Windham College, actually. Windham
No?
College never had a field house.
Okay.
It was bigger, it was.
Well, all right. That's all I have right now.
Okay, any public comment on the town manager's report? Mr. Fairman.
Mr. Chairman, I want to, I guess at this point, third what other people have said about the excellent sidewalk and road maintenance that I have seen. And yes, after we had that huge, the snow was plowed onto the sidewalks by the state, and there was that huge pile of snow outside Putney General Store. Overnight, it disappeared. You know, truly excellent work. And I sure admire people who get out in the middle of the night to do that kind of work. Thanks.
Thank you. All right, moving on. Boards, committees, and commissions. Equity and Inclusion Committee with Black History Month statement.
Hi, is Lisa in the room? Or-
Yes.
Yeah, great. She's going for it. Sorry, let's interrupt.
Greetings, everybody. This is a statement in observance of Black History Month. I was recently a visitor in Charleston, South Carolina, where I enjoyed balmy, wet weather, good food, friendly people, and a sightseeing saunter on the grounds of Fort Moultrie, a Revolutionary-era fort on Sullivan's Island, a part of Charleston City proper. Fort Moultrie is now a part of the Fort Sumter National Park. Their park signage gave me to learn the following. Between the years 1500 and 1870, an estimated 10 to 12 million Africans were shipped to the Western Hemisphere in the largest forced migration in history. The vast majority were taken to the Caribbean and Brazil. Historians estimate that only 4 to 6% of the survivors were brought to North America between 1619 and 1808. Of these, 40% were landed on Sullivan's Island in Charleston. That was 200 to 360,000 men, women, and children until the international slave trade was abolished in 1808. English colonists from the Caribbean brought a plantation system to the Carolinas, perfected on the sugar island of Barbados. For a time, Africans were well over half the population of the Carolinas, where they underwrote with their uncompensated labor fortunes in so many commodities, most notably rice. Africans brought their knowledge of rice cultivation with them from Africa. It was their knowledge and skill that tamed the freshwater swamps of the Carolina Low Country to grow a demanding crop that required a balanced flow of water for successful yields. The Africans grew the white gold that made Carolina rich. The average life expectancy of an enslaved African on the rice plantations was 3 years. Apparently, that rate of loss was economically justified. To grasp this is to lead us to a rich understanding of the role of labor in profits.
On the tails of that,
Swift has a
thank you. Every year, I'm not sure for how long, but Black History Month has had a theme, and it is actually this year a century of Black history commemorations this year. So it celebrates the 100th anniversary of the inaugural Negro History Week, which was launched in 1926 by Dr. Carter G. Woodson. And we are also wanting to add in a request to fly the Pan-African flag as an action point. The Pan-African flag is a flag that has been used to represent yes, they can also hear you. The Pan-African flag is a flag that has been used to represent the pride and resilience of Black people in America and in the African diaspora worldwide, to bring a unity to their stories and history. The Equity Inclusion Advisory Committee requests that the Select Board fly this flag from February 5th to February 28th to honor Black History Month. This will be our 3rd year flying this flag. It was the first flag we ever flew, I believe.
Thank you. Do we need to vote on that, or is that in our?
It's in the resolution that you have to approve each flag, so.
Okay.
Great, I make a motion that we fly the Pan-African flag, and that's here at Town Hall and at the Fire and Rescue Station.
Thank you for adding that in.
Yeah, from February 5th through the 28th.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Thank you.
All right. Moving
Thank
on.
you so much. It's a small visual action.
Thank you. All right, Selectboard New Business, Groundworks Collaborative, Libby Bennett.
So can I just give you what happened?
Yeah.
So Groundworks sent in an application with a questionnaire requesting to be in the social agency or the community social agency, whatever we call it now. Group B. I was on vacation when it came in. 2 other people had been emailed and it fell through the cracks. So I will take accountability that it didn't reach the select board before budget season ended. So I requested Libby to be here to speak on behalf of Groundworks, and whatever decision is made, it won't impact the budget, right? It will impact the group if they end up in B. So it'll just be dispersed like 6 different ways.
Instead of 5.
Correct. And in your packet is her application and the questionnaire, so.
I move we add Groundworks to Group B.
I second that.
Libby, do you have anything to offer, or you want to point out to us anything?
Sure. I had some remarks prepared, but and I'm happy to give them now if that's okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, great. Good evening and thank you for having me. My name is Libby Bennett. I'm the Executive Director at Groundworks Collaborative. At Groundworks, we aim to meet the basic needs of our neighbors who struggle to compete for housing, who struggle to make choices between picking up prescription medications or putting heating oil in the tank and putting food on the table. And increasingly, we work with people who struggle to survive, sleeping in places unfit for human habitation, as shelters are full and the motel program is increasingly difficult to access. At Groundworks, we're driven to end hunger and homelessness in our region. We act with positive regard for the people we serve and for each other. We uphold boundaries out of respect for each other and to promote a safe and healthy environment for program participants and staff. While there are big structural and systemic issues at play, we realize the importance of our mission. We're clear about our locus of control, and we bring partners together to get the work done, meeting extensive needs while advocating for systems change. We're a team whose ultimate strength is bringing together the right people, programs, resources, and partners to create positive impact every day in the face of adversity. We show up to the challenge to make a difference in people's lives, upholding respect for the people we serve and each other. And we earn the trust of our clients, our partners, and our community of supporters. Groundworks programs span a continuum of need for housing and related services, from street outreach to permanent supportive housing. We provide housing case management at every stage, working to help people exit homelessness into housing that they can sustain. It is incredibly rare for people to exit homelessness into housing they can afford without a housing voucher to bridge the gap between the cost of rent and what the person or family can afford. Affordability for all of us is a standard that says we should pay no more than 30% of our income for housing and utilities. For so many people we serve, there are 0 units available in the state of Vermont that meet that standard. People receiving Social Security disability income at just under $1,000 a month would need a monthly rent of $300 or less. It simply does not exist. Housing vouchers play a critical role in our ability to move people into housing from homelessness, and we see, as the nationwide numbers show, that only 1 in 4 American households who qualify for affordable housing through programs like Section 8 actually get to access those programs and housing. At Groundworks, we're grateful to the town of Putney for hosting new permanently affordable housing communities. Your willingness is helping to unlock our gridlocked housing market. And while we're making progress in Windham County and unlocking the availability of housing, affordability does not trickle down, and rents are no more in reach now than they were during the pandemic. In fact, the fair market rent standard keeps increasing each year. Furthermore, with federal cuts to permanent housing programs looming, we're seeing fewer housing vouchers available for people to exit homelessness or even to maintain and sustain in permanent housing, as vouchers are at risk of being shelved for lack of funding. So we're really up against it on the housing front. As a hub town for services available within the county, Brattleboro is where we all come for services like the hospital, the high school, grocery stores, and many human services agencies. It's where I would turn if I lost my housing in Putney. We're grateful to the town of Putney for considering adding Groundworks Collaborative to the list of Group B organizations to receive human services funding. Last year, Groundworks served 128 Putney residents across our array of services, representing 2.5% of our FY25 expenses at just over $97,000. I'm happy to take any questions you might have, and I thank you again for having me.
Any questions from the board? Any public comment?
I don't have a question, but I have a comment. Just thank you for the work that you do.
Oh, thank you very much.
And I support this
Okay.
100%.
Did you make a motion, Fletcher?
I did. I made a
Yeah,
motion that
second.
we approve
Can we
adding.
second
Yes.
it? Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank
Libby.
you.
Thanks.
All right. Moving on. Green Mountain Power Tim Jones.
Great, thank you so much. Tim Jones, Green Mountain Power. Also with me tonight, teammate Don Mills. Don runs our Brattleboro district, but he's also our line construction expert on our resiliency program. So again, thanks as the theme. Just wanted to thank the town for your partnership over the last couple of years. It's been integral to us doing some really strategic overhead projects and also some underground projects over the last couple of years, just to kind of tick through a couple of things that we have rebuilt. West Hill, Westminster Road overhead projects. We did some smaller demonstration undergrounding projects outside the door here, as you probably are aware, daily from River Road to Schoolhouse Road. We're rebuilding the main feed for the village. And last year, we were granted permission to do a couple of our signature cable and conduit undergrounding projects on Leon Wood Road and Windmill Hill Road. Also South Windmill Hill up into Westminster as well. GMP was satisfied with the outcomes of those projects. We have been in communication with Lenny, throughout the end of the season last year, running up to winter, and did have some communication as well today. So he's given us some feedback that we took last year as well, in terms of having to come back and make a couple of culvert repairs, a couple on Leon Wood and one up on Windmill Hill, right by sort of that silver trailer there, as near the town line.
Yeah.
In doing that, I believe we met what he asked us to do, but it certainly pushed us late into the season in terms of getting the finished road cover on, which was not ideal. And again, I think, no excuses. We can always do better, but sincerely appreciate the town's willingness to approve those projects and get us out there and rebuild a couple of really challenging roads in the town and improve the overall resiliency, reliability up in that part of town, up off of West Hill. So again, opportunity for improvement, working directly with Lenny. The agreement that we have here, again, similar to what we signed last year, just reflective of sort of the progression that we would need to go through, and Lenny Howard at the Highway Department being the gatekeeper to basically getting out there, looking at these projects on the ground, documenting what we're going to do, enumerating what we need to do to replace culverts, repair roads, restore roads, and those types of things, basically specifying the materials and methods that we would go through to do those projects. So that's how we applied that to the Leon Wood and Windmill Hill Road projects last year. So before I mention new business, I'll stop there. Again, thank you to the town. It's incredibly important to have these partnerships, and Karen's been great. Again, close contact, I think, all summer, helping us improve our communication. Certainly, we took plenty of communication and feedback from our customers and residents of Putney along the way. So all that together makes us better, and I'll get to new requests in a minute, but I just want to stop there and just open ourselves up to whatever other feedback for past work.
Swift, do you have a comment?
Eileen has her hand up.
Oh, sorry.
You're good.
Whoever wants to go first, go for it.
So I appreciate the work in general. I do have a bone to pick with you. Your traffic control leaves a lot to be desired. And also it seems they haven't been very, situational aware. There were multiple times when you guys were working on poles during pickup or drop off at PCS, which caused major backups. So that's just feedback from my point of view.
Thank you. I believe we heard from Karen a few times on that as well when we were doing the overhead project. So.
Yeah.
Swift.
Hey, I live on a road on Turner Trail, which is connected through Old Stage Road, and then there's a gap of maintained road between Old Stage Road and Turner Trail where the power lines go through. There used to be a road there that used to be mildly, or at least I've heard, but pre-Irene was passable. And I'm wondering if that is on your radar of a place to bring up to at least a level where it's passable in vehicles. We lost power for at least 2 days last year. Every year we lose power for at least 2 days. If not, there was one winter where it was 3 days. We're a small portion, but there are 4 residences that are affected from that. And didn't know if it's on your list. Would love if it was.
Thank you for the feedback. It is not currently, and we're going to look at a little bit more specifically where that is. I'm not as familiar with Putney and where you're talking about, but we will look at that. We're not really in the road building business. We restore roads that we install our utilities in. So in terms of converting that road or making it passable, that's not really in our scope. But we will look at the resiliency in the area.
Yeah, can I say a follow-up?
Sure.
Or thank you. It's about resiliency. It's not like I don't want it built up so I can drive on it. I want it built up so it can be repaired faster. Sorry, my husband is giggling, but yeah, I think that's obvious, but thank you.
No, I appreciate the feedback. I'm going to look at it and that specifically, and see if there's, anything that we can, give you some sort of forecast if we're going to move on it or what the outage history is and therefore. So typically, in this program, what we're doing is 10 customers at least and above. So just give us a chance to look at it.
Thank you so much.
I'll call.
Mr. Fairman?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just further to the discussion that has just happened, Green Mountain Power and Efficiency Vermont offer programs where people can have batteries installed in their homes to provide backup power. And this is something that perhaps the previous speaker could consider, but also Green Mountain Power could consider promoting to situations, to areas where repair may be delayed. Thank you.
No, it's a great suggestion. We do have a program, as you mentioned, but as part of this resiliency program, which sunsets on September 30th of this year. But that is another phase of the program. Storage is another phase of the program that we're evaluating now and where that gets targeted. So thank you for your feedback.
Peg?
Yeah. My question is, when do the old poles come down?
Great question. It's a years-long process, unfortunately, something that we're not 100% in control of. So once we rebuild our lines overhead, as you can see, we cut the poles down that we were on to the communication line. Then we inform our communications partners that are licensed on our poles that we have moved off, and that starts the process of encouraging them to transfer to the new pole lines, or if we're underground, we're installing duct bank for them to join us as well. So we can't compel them to do it. They're partners of ours. We meet with them routinely. And so we are working diligently to improve that speed to market, if you will, and get it down to one pole line. So
is there anything we can do to help that?
You can certainly, as the town select board, make some inquiries to your communications providers in the area and maybe encourage them that you see some new projects that we've built and maybe get some feedback from them on timing. DV Fiber came up before in terms of they're running new lines in the region as well. So they're aware of where we've been and where we're going.
Eileen?
It just occurred to me that we get assessed value on those poles, though. So if there's 2 of them, then Putney's going to get a bigger chunk of tax money from you guys. So maybe we won't be so proactive there.
Maybe add some more.
Creative, very creative.
Sue?
I'll find you that revenue, Karen.
Thank you.
Sue Coakley, I chair the Planning Commission, and I just want to say the program that Green Mountain Power is running is remarkable and unique in the entire country. I come from this field. I used to be at a utility commission, and the resilience that Green Mountain Power is building into our town and our state there's no other state doing this, other maybe Hawaii. And I have the battery system at my house that was installed in May, and the whole neighborhood has not had an outage. Okay, so it's working really well. It's a remarkable program. I congratulate you on your doing it, the whole company doing it. And I would encourage everybody in the community to take part of it. I think we will be really well off. Your goal, I know, is no outages by 2030. There is no other utility that's even trying to do that in this country. So thank you, and this is a remarkable opportunity for everybody in our community.
Welcome. Thank you. New business?
Go for it.
All right, well, thank you for the feedback again. It only makes us better, and we really appreciate the partnership. So what I had forwarded to Karen and shared with Lenny this week, 3 final projects. Like I said, anything that we initiate will be done, completed, and closed with no loose ends by September 30th. That's the end of our program, our 2-year program. So if we can't see our way to finishing a project, we'll not start it. But we have tapered ourselves to, a distinct number of projects in our playbook, and we're confident that the 3 projects we're presenting here are well within our capacity to get them done. And they are, in no particular order, is Putney Mountain Road, essentially from Leon Wood to Banning Road. Getting that overhead underground would be a big win for us. Driving up there, you can see the number of times it's been out through the splices and so forth. So that's right in front of us, easy to get underground. Also Banning Road, so from Putney Mountain Road, essentially up to, I think it's Adams Road, the private road there at the very top. Again, if you're familiar with the area, our lines are all over the place, roadside, cross country. And that's our goal, is to bring all of that to the road, put it underground, and basically eliminate the risk of not only having these lines out in the the forest to be taken down, but also sending our own teams out there to repair them when they go out. And last but not least, Aiken Road, which I amended earlier with Karen to also include Dusty Ridge in a sort of a George Braley flyby. So that's again essentially Aiken Road from the dirt all the way to Heller. Again, bringing those lines down off the hillsides into the road. Customers will have the opportunity, if they wanted to reconfigure how they're served and wanted to get in on undergrounding, certainly at their cost. But what GMP will do is make note of somebody that would want to go underground and basically rough in what they would need to take service. Otherwise, we'll be intercepting people as they lie. So it won't be 0 poles and wires up there on any of these projects, but the main line, hopefully over 95% of the main line will be underground, and will only be overhead where we need to fly open water, take stream setbacks and so forth. But mostly anything 24 inches and smaller, we're going under those culverts and replacing them in their entirety.
Yeah. So did Lenny let you know that we just did Putney Mountain and Banning? Today, yeah. So it's unfortunate, that you're not ahead of us.
Right.
I can tell you that Aiken, we're looking to pave that. So this is good to know that you're looking at this, because we're gonna hold off now. But yeah, Putney Mountain and Banning just got done this past summer.
And we have done other roads where that has been done, and we're gonna replace it with brand new. I mean, it's unfortunate, and unless the town's completely opposed to us, going back into those roads, that's the rebuild plan we have for them. So
well, I'm gonna say no. You need to do the work, right? So, but I think in the future, if this program comes along again, we should really strategize and save money, because our money comes from the state, which is everyone, all the taxpayers. And when we put a new culvert in, and then you got to cut through it and maybe replace it, it doesn't make sense.
Well, the goal is to replace everything in kind, so
Yeah.
fully, completely as we did last year. So are you saying no, we can't do?
No, you can do the
okay.
project. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. No, it needs to be done.
Yeah.
So you know, yeah, it's just unfortunate that we've already been ahead of you.
Yes.
This is second year, guys.
Yeah, so I think a little more forethought on our part, as well as just saying, hey, these are areas that we're looking at. It might not happen next year, it could happen the following year, and then what do you have that is coming up in the near future as far as replacement and stuff like that? Because we actually caught the town of Marlboro ahead of their project, so.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
You know, that's kind of what we've been trying to do too, but we've just been off schedule.
Yeah.
And we will have more, so when this program sunsets, hopefully before the end of the summer, we'll know we have just filed for another, 4-year rate case and so forth, so we'll have a playbook. If it's approved, then we'll be able to go back out to all the towns, town managers, and just canvass basically all of our, customer regions and, kind of pull that data out and say, hey, have you done this, or are you gonna be here, or whatnot, so.
Yeah, because our grants and aid, it's only for like a year, so we gotta have a project planned, usually in the winter, and then, we pretty much stick with it. So, but, I understand, and we've had the conversation before, so, but the work needs to be done, people need to have power, so.
Yes.
But.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
With Aiken Road, are you doing the blacktop or just the dirt part?
Just from the dirt.
Just the dirt, so not.
Pretty much where that line's out in the field there, where you're coming up, right from there, bring that to the road and then up around the.
Yeah, yeah.
You mean my pasture?
What's that?
You mean my pasture?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lisa's up there.
It's a nice spot.
It is nice.
Mr. Fairman?
Mr. Chairman, a previous speaker mentioned that Green Mountain Power is unique in doing this and actually in doing many other things, unique nationwide. The reason may be that Green Mountain Power actually is Canadian owned. It's a Canadian owned company. Thank you.
Sorry, guys.
Hey, it's true.
Yeah.
Can't dispute it.
So,
If I may, I just may add that it isn't lost on me, the Green Mountain Power has had women as CEOs for the past 15 years.
Thank you
The
for
only one
sharing
that
that.
I know of.
all right, any other public comment for Green Mountain Power?
I do need a motion
Okay.
on this petition to move forward with the work.
With 3 projects. Do we have a motion written out? I make a motion to approve the 3 projects as outlined by Green Mountain Power. Yep.
Second.
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you both.
Thank you.
I'm gonna just sign and leave a copy, or do you want?
Yeah, do
I
you
have a
have a
fresh
blank? Yeah, sure. And then I'll have them sign it, and then I'll get you a copy.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, guys.
Thank you.
All right.
That's our town meeting.
Town hall. All right.
All right,
Okay.
moving on, Town Hall renovation project.
All right, so, I'm gonna start this conversation. I am gonna ask the board for at least 20 to 30 minutes to talk about the project. We have time. It may not take that long, but, so I wanna start out by introducing, the Renew Town Hall renovation team. And it includes Sue Coakley, who's Planning Commission Chair, Lisa Papazian, who is a historical preservationist, Andrea Murray, who is on Zoom. She is with Vermont Integrated Architecture. And we also have Peter Rude, who's with North Hill Solutions. He's helping us with our funding stacks. And Bob Goldberg, a resident of Putney and a builder. So he is part of our team as well. This project started with Lisa, Sue, and myself. We picked up this 2005 Putney Town Hall Building Site Evaluation Project. So 2005, this study was done. It was placed on the bookshelf, and I don't know what it cost for this report, but we picked it up for several different reasons. And what I want to do is just kind of do an overview of the history of this building, and then I'm going to have Andrea Murray speak about the overall project. I would like to speak about the first floor plan, which is behind you. These are schematic designs of the first floor and the second floor. Lisa will speak about the second floor, and Sue's going to touch on funding. So this town hall was erected in 1871 at the cost of $11,884.58. And I'm sure back then it was a lot of money. So this building has housed agencies and businesses, a barbershop, a Baptist church, Universalist Society. It was a school back in 1895 for grades 8 to 12 until 1906. It was the location of a town library from 1896 to 1967. It was a Grange, an American Legion. The post office was here back in 1942 to 1963. That was the year I was born, folks. I'm like, plays were held here, dances were held here, movies were held here, and the town offices from 1960 through today have been located on the first floor in the town hall. 1973, a new vault was built to house the land records. And then the late 1980s through early 2000s, upstairs was used for summer art shows and storage. I want to say, and Lisa, you can correct me, but town meetings were held here as well.
That was the.
I remember going to those.
Me too.
Yes. I thought that was in this list. but-
Including food.
Including food.
Sit down lunch.
Well,
Nice.
the other thing that's not on that list, I should have put on the list, is that the Historical Society has been based here since 1959.
Yeah, so that's an important bit of history, and we should add this to our list. So we are here tonight. We've been working on this for some time. In your packet, there's an actual timeline of when we started this project, and it was November 2022 is when we picked up this 2005 report. And I'm not going to go through everything that's happened. This is online, and it basically outlines our actions and our tasks to date. We have brought on an architect, we've brought on a project manager to do a cost estimate. We've done many different reports. We've completed building reports, and we have proposed renovation steps and estimated costs for this project. With that being said, I've introduced the team, and I would like to have Andrea speak in just a minute. So why does renovation matter for this building? The project addresses critical needs, structural repairs to the building, energy efficiency upgrades, ADA compliant accessibility improvements, modernized meeting and community spaces that support public gatherings, providing a permanent space for the Putney Historical Society, preservation of historic features that honor the building's heritage while preparing for its future. We know the condition of the building. And it was time to look at this project. And we're at a point now that we feel we come to the select board so you understand what we see. And when we have our public informational meeting, we'll also speak about it, but at town meeting, there's a non-binding article to discuss renovation of the town hall. So with further ado, I would like to introduce Andrea Murray, and she will also be sharing her screen so you can see some schematic plans, and then we'll continue with our other speakers.
Hi everyone, thank you Karen. My name is Andrea Murray and I'm Principal Architect of Vermont Integrated Architecture. I am I'm a local Vermonter. I've been here most of my life, and one of the things I love about practicing architecture in Vermont is that I get to spend time in beautiful historic buildings, and you have a really special building, and it's been a pleasure to get to know it. I wanted to share with you a little bit about our process and some of the things that we learned during kind of the assessment of your building and meeting with the committee to understand the needs and some of the things that happen in the building and some of the things that could happen in the building. And then I'll walk you through the design concept that is on the table right now. When we came on board, we were asked by Karen and the committee to help us think about this building for the 21st century. How do we make it comfortable and warm, energy efficient, accessible, address some of the deferred maintenance issues, and the big priorities being accessibility to the second floor, windows and exterior maintenance, and that includes some envelope upgrades for energy efficiency and the mechanical systems, all of which are pretty dated at this time. So we have on our team not just an architectural team, but we also have a structural engineer, mechanical, electrical, plumbing engineers, and civil engineers. And so we've really done a thorough assessment of the building and the surrounding site. We have looked at it from code compliance, specifically for life safety, accessibility, and energy code. And we came up with several concepts of how to accommodate both of the major functions in this building, which are the town office function and also the historical society, who is the tenant for the second floor. Once we went through those concepts, we met with the committee and Karen shared some of the concepts also with the town office team and gave us some feedback. And we heard a lot of, we like this about this one, not this about this one. We're concerned about safety. We want to have some places for meetings. We want to make sure you have places for people to gather. So we learned a lot about how you would use the building and what could happen in the building. We did a cost estimate at the end of that first phase of design with an independent cost estimator, and we realized that we actually needed a little bit more information, specifically around the structure of the building and what was happening behind the walls and above the ceiling where you're sitting right now, because we needed to understand to what extent we needed to reinforce the floor, etc. And we know that those explorations would help us hone in on cost a little bit better. We also worked with Karen and the team to bring on a construction manager. HP Cummings is a construction manager, and they've been acting in the capacity as an advisor to the team in what we call pre-construction services. So they are helping the team figure out not only what things are going to cost, but in what sequence we're going to do things. And they've brought in some consultants, for example, to give us some really good pricing as opposed to just allowance pricing on the project. So with that, I would just like to share my screen here, and I will walk you through the design concept. Oh dear. My apologies. Just trying to get there. Okay, now it should work. All right, can you see that? Can you see my screen?
Can you show them that participant panel on the right-hand side?
Sure.
Just so we can see. Perfect.
So those boards on the back wall are the same as what you're looking at.
And I have more detail too, that we could go into more detail if you would like more detail. But right now, what you're looking at is what we call a site plan. So Main Street is here. Here, this is the building, and what you're seeing colored are sort of the affected area of where work would be done. In terms of site improvements, we're looking to do some perimeter drainage around the foundation of the building. There is some moisture and water getting into the basement, so we would like to address some of those issues. We would like to make sure the building is universally accessible and meets all egress requirements. And so there are some updates proposed to the front ramp, some work on this entry area, and then there is some more specific parking and access from these back doors as well. It's a tiny little postage stamp of a site. And so, yeah, I think there are also 2 EV chargers proposed as part of this project, actually required by code, and would be a great convenience in Putney. So I'm just going to walk you quickly through the floor plans, and if you have questions, I'd be happy to address them.
Just a question. Here, the download box there, is that on your screen or is that on your screen?
Oh,
no.
Yeah, sorry.
I get to be able to see it clearer.
Is it gone now?
Yes.
Okay, my apologies. Thank you. Okay, so let's just walk through these. Plans have a lot of the technical information removed so we can see them clearly. So this is the main entrance. We know the main entrance doors need to be reconstructed, and they are struggling right now to close properly. And yes, you can see daylight and air and all sorts of things moving through them. But the historic foyer would remain mostly the same. You would come into this foyer, and immediately ahead of you, there would be a window and a door that would bring you into this little lobby here where you could talk to an assistant of the town office, and you'd be able to say, hey, I'm here to pay my taxes or get a dog license or whatever the task is. And this person will is basically the main customer service presence here. If you're here to review documents or records, things like that, or to meet with the assessor or the town manager, then the assistant will either escort you or someone from that function, the clerk or the town manager, will come out and meet the person in the lobby. The town manager's office moves into the back corner here, and the clerk will remain here in this corner adjacent to the vault. I don't know how many of you have been in your vault. You have a really interesting vault. It's a 2-story vault that has a stair in it. It's really unique. It also is not insulated. And so one of the things that we would like to do is provide some insulation at the basement level. Not so much for comfort reasons, although that is one reason, because it does create a really terrible thermal bridge through your building, but also because it generates conditions that bring moisture into the vault, and we really do not want to damage any of those records. There is a document review area adjacent to the clerk's station, so if you're here to look at a record, you can be supervised and also ask questions of the clerk, etc. There are some flexible workstations for town office staff. There's a photocopier here and mail and other supplies. The treasurer's office is here. And then what I want you to see here is that on after hours, this can be secured, and that the meeting room here is available for select board meetings or smaller meetings that might occur during the week. And there's also a break room available. The break room may have a small kitchenette in it and a sink. And then there is a bathroom here with a janitor closet, and then the LULA. And LULA stands for Limited Use, Limited Access Lift. So this is a small elevator. And we often use a smaller elevator in an historic building of this size because it is more cost effective and it takes up less space. So I'm just going to go, so you can take to the second floor, the LULA, or either of the existing stairs, and we'll go up and look at the second floor. So the second floor is the home of the Historical Society, but also a place for community gatherings. And so you would come up to the same location you always have right here at the top of the stairs and come in through these double doors, or you come up in the LULA and you enter here. We expect this open area to remain. We're not going to partition it off or anything like that, but I would hope there'll be Historical Society displays and artifacts from your community, as well as a place for larger meetings and presentations. Historical Society will use the space on the stage for a workspace and storage of their collections. And then this circulation path and this egress out the back onto this fire escape will remain for safety reasons. We'll also be adding a bathroom here on the second floor so that folks who are here for any event also don't have to go all the way downstairs to use the restroom. And then the stairs that come up to the balcony here will be reconstructed. And here's a tiny little plan of the balcony, which stacks right on top of this area here. And you could, if the LULA were to go all the way to the balcony, there would be another workspace for the Historical Society, and the proposal, the wish, the dream, right, is to put some glass across the front of the balcony and enclose this space up here. So it's a relatively simple floor plan. And I would say we've gone through a number of iterations of the floor plan to really take out anything that is superfluous and kind of not necessary to meet the needs of the town office function and this space up here as an assembly space. So I'll just stop there first and ask if there are any questions.
Questions, board?
I see one question, one hand raised.
Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have several questions. I probably should ask them one by one, if I may. Okay. These questions, I believe, would be addressed to the architect. Are you planning to install fire sprinklers?
We have designed it so that we could potentially install fire sprinklers. I think we're still trying to, we are not required by code to install sprinklers unless we wish to have a capacity on the second floor of greater than 50 people. I know that Karen and the team would like to do that. But there is a cost associated with it. So I think the strategy right now is to actually bid the project with the sprinklers in it and then see whether or not we can afford that.
Okay, I simply would comment that it could be a good investment in the long term because of its protecting the building. Now, I understand. Yes, I understand. You're thinking about a Lula for up and down. How about an elevator?
A Lula is an elevator. It's just a smaller elevator.
Well, indeed it is, but I am familiar with the difference. And a Lula truly is not an elevator in the sense it does not have an enclosed cabin that goes up and down in which a number of people can ride at the same time. Example being up the street at Next Stage Arts. So I'm asking, why not a conventional elevator?
This is actually an enclosed cab Lula, and it is a slightly larger one. So you would actually be able to put a couple of people in this particular apparatus.
Now, an elevator, I don't want to get into semantics with you here, but an elevator does carry more people, but I'll move on. Going down to the ground floor now, our vault, which as you pointed out, is a two-story vault, which means one of the stories is below grade. We've had a lot of problems with moisture down there, adversely affecting documents. What do you plan to do about this?
Right. So as I described earlier, one of our concerns is the moisture in the vault, and most of the moisture that is entering the vault is not water, it is vapor and condensation that is occurring because of the temperature differentials between outside and inside air. And so one of the things we plan to do is actually, if you were to go into the basement, you'll see that the exterior walls of that concrete structure are not insulated. And so we plan to insulate the exterior of the vault at the basement level and start there.
How about risk of flooding of the vault?
I don't think there's a huge risk of flooding of the vault. It seems to be fairly well sealed. While there is some moisture that's coming into the basement, it's in sort of a different area. We do have in the project some perimeter drainage to deal with moisture that is kind of coming from the, underground from surrounding the building foundation. So that would help to pull any water, any groundwater that's getting into the basement away from the basement.
Excellent, excellent answer. My final question is on the ground floor, looking at the meeting room. I'm looking at this on a pretty high resolution display, and if I read it correctly, the meeting room is 274 square feet, right?
Yes.
Well, I can tell you that is a mighty small reading room. I live in a one-bedroom apartment, just me, My apartment is 525 square feet. Half of it would be the room I'm sitting in. And if we tried to hold a select board meeting in here, we'd better like each other pretty well. So the point I'm making here is it is not uncommon that quite a few people attend a select board meeting. Not only that, the Vermont open meeting law says that they are exercising a constitution, and the Vermont Supreme Court say that they are exercising a constitutional right to attend that meeting. Now, 274 square feet is not going to accommodate very many people. So fair enough, maybe this is what you have to do on the ground floor, but I'm going to take the liberty of suggesting that consideration be given to, since there is a larger room on the second floor, making that into a possible room for larger official meetings, such as select board meetings or public hearings or things of that kind. Because 274 square feet, as I say, I'm sitting in a room that size right now, and if you were all in here, we would be pretty crowded. Thank you.
Thank you. That is the intent, that larger meetings would be held upstairs.
Okay. Any more questions? Are you all set, Andrea?
I think so. Did I miss anything, Karen, that you would like us to touch on?
No, I think you just did what I was going to talk about, and he said perhaps, but.
I'm sorry.
Great job. No, you did a great job. Thank you for doing that overview to the public and to the select board. I want to add this project. It has shifted and pivoted, and the priorities have also shifted. So we have a tenant upstairs. Our first priority is to have a permanent, accessible home for the Putney Historical Society and to have accessibility into this building for town business. But it is critical, as the Historical Society does not have a certificate of occupancy because they have no heat upstairs. So that is the priority of this project. Second is that we have an underutilized building, and we need an efficient building designed for modern needs such as security, energy resilience, an insulated building, folks. We have no insulation in the walls. It makes it difficult in the winter, and without air conditioning on the first or second floor, when it gets hot in August by 2 o'clock, I want to take a nap. It's like, clean air exchange is also a priority. Heat and air conditioning and accessibility. The third priority is, accessibility, mobility, for people that have a hard time, entering buildings. And to have local organizations have a welcoming space to meet and gather. I don't know about you, but in the last month, I have been very disappointed about our setup here. I'm going to be frank with you. Struggling with technology, I mean.
You don't love this?
No, I do not love this stuff over my head. It just doesn't work for me, folks. It's, and we have adapted to it, but we need to make our infrastructure a priority, or we're not going to have this building. And it's going to cost more money today than it was going to in 2005. It's been too long that we just continue to use this building the way we've been using it. And there's so much more potential here. And I'm going to let Lisa speak.
Thank you, Karen.
You're welcome.
Well, I'd just like to say, on behalf of the Historical Society, we deeply appreciate the opportunity to have a home upstairs. And granted, we understand that it's not a habitable home at the moment because of no access and no heat. And so we're essentially closed to the public. We serve the public, via internet inquiries that we could do, and we do events elsewhere, like Next Stage. And recognize that this is why I'm here on the committee, is to help the town try to realize this project, because it's important for both of us, the town and the Historical Society. And to achieve that shared meeting space and gathering space upstairs, we have to compromise what we would ideally like in a home. We need a place for our stuff. So there is a place for our stuff, but we're gonna have to work around, one dedicated meeting space that we can be on the side of and have displays, but also have some private space somehow. Don't want to build walls in that beautiful big room upstairs that's 2 stories, for that matter. So we'll make it work, and I think it is a wonderful room to meet in. And so we would like to have the opportunity to, have our displays, have some events and educational events, also have some workspace so we can actually catalog all the incredible stuff we have that related to the history of Putney, and also put more of it online, and make it accessible, and serve the research needs and genealogical needs that people come to us with, and be able to serve more school groups that have, at the moment can't really meet upstairs with us. We have to bring stuff down. So all of that, I think, will be great. The balcony dream would be fantastic, but understood that it's potentially, too much of a dream. It's about cost. And in 2005, I was part of that feasibility study committee back then, and with a price tag at that time of just over $1 million, it scared the select board and every subsequent select board of doing anything. And what we've seen is the building, it's okay, but it's slowly, deteriorating, and it needs more than just coats of paint. And it's an astonishingly beautiful building with a lot of great historic integrity. We'd love to help do this project so that it's vibrant downstairs and upstairs.
Go ahead.
With the sprinklers, what would the capacity be upstairs if the sprinkler system was in?
Like 200.
Yeah, I can answer that question. Give me 1 second.
I should say that
I
it's
thought it was
not
100.
About 100 people.
Yeah.
okay. And it's not, the sprinkler system is one piece of that. It
Right.
also required a more extensive floor reinforcement to allow.
Correct.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Eileen?
Yeah, I just want to add, I want to say that this select board member personally is very excited about this project, and I'm not afraid of the price tag. And just for context, Londonderry just completed a town office renovation. Karen was lucky enough to go see the new building. It was painful, it was expensive, and it was completely worth it. It's a beautiful building. It's now being used by, it's being used a lot more by the community. It's a vital community space now. It's energy efficient. We expanded our capacity, so we have a lot more offices and we have a lot more space. And we won't have to do that for another 30, 50 years because we did it right.
Thank
So
you,
I'm all
Eileen.
for it.
Thank you, Eileen. So I guess we should talk a little bit about funding and how we started and where we're at right now, which is a bouncing ball, but that's okay. So Sue Coakley is going to speak on the funding.
So, thank you. First of all, I just want to appreciate everybody who's worked on this project. It takes a lot to envision what this could be, figure out how to do it. I want to thank Karen, who is the project lead, who's never led a project quite like this. And so she's learning all the time, and she's invited a really great team, the IA. Lisa's done a couple of buildings. It's so helpful to have that perspective. Bob Goldberg. So we have a really solid team. Peter Rood, who's helping us with some of the fundraising. We're well served. I just want to say it's very solid, and I'm excited to be part of it. We're still trying to figure out what this building would cost. I need to talk about funding. That's my job. And you have in your packet a page that talks about funding sources and so forth. And there's sort of 3 areas of funding that it shows: money that has been awarded and completed, then money that has been awarded and is in progress to be used, and then there's money that we still need to raise. That's in the more orange color you'll see there. The good news I want to tell you is at this stage of this project, we have raised what I believe is something like 30% of what we're going to need. When you get to 30% of what you're going to need, your project is on its way. That is a very significant milestone. That 30% assumes this project will cost something like $2.5 million. We don't know the final number right now, and there can be some further discussion about it, but that's the ballpark of what we're talking about. To do the things, to do the dream, or maybe the dream a little less than the full dream. We've been looking at how to do things differently. But we've raised about 30% of it. About $750,000 has been raised altogether. I just want to say that the select board was important. The select board was there to support the grants, to provide the $200,000 for the ARPA money, and we're going to need the select board to be there for us for the rest of the project. I mean, this is really takes leadership of all. So where we are now is that we've secured money for the initial planning and design development and the initial implementation. This year we'll be doing the windows, the historic window renovations, repairs, upgrades to be energy efficient. We'll also have, we have the money from the Municipal Energy Resilience Program to do HVAC system, and we'll need to do shell improvements for that to work. It'll be heat pumps. So that is where we are, in the project. I should just say that the Putney Historical Society has been a major partner in trying to help us raise this money. Lisa herself does a lot of grant writing and has helped us do that. Paul Brune grant for the windows, for example. So that's been part of it. We've also had donated labor from the Putney Historical Society, and probably also from the Planning Commission chair, to do this, to raise the money. So what's left at this moment is to raise money to do the rest of the construction and the building systems. And that's going to take us, and about another, $608,000 to get to 2.5 million to do the whole project. We have raised, at this point, about 1.5 million is in our funding stack at the moment. Now that funding stack at the moment includes a capital campaign that we're about to begin. The capital campaign, when we look at a funding stack of 1.5 million, is a $200,000 capital campaign. That's not a big number from my perspective, given what we need to raise. So you'll see there's $200,000 to $1 million as a capital fund. I think we need to be aiming for a larger number. And if we do that, it reduces the amount of money that we would need for bond or a loan, whichever way seems the best way to go for the complement of funding. The capital fund will also give us working capital, which we need now. Some of the grants we have, you have to have money up front and you get paid back. So we need working money to be able to do the work. We also need working capital that will give us matches to get other grants. The grants often require matches, so we need the capital campaign to do that. And it also will help us have money for things that there's things that will come along as we need. So it gives us a little more wiggle room. So if we could raise $1 million out of our capital campaign, that would put the town in a very strong position to borrow the rest of it and not be too large a number. So I just have to say that's our focus right now. We've got 30% of the money, for a $2.5 million project already committed, and we need to raise the rest of that. And that will be our project for the rest of the year so that we can get this project completed. Some of the work will get done this spring. The windows have to be done by the end of June. And the HVAC and wall insulation, that money must be spent by the end of the year. So we're preparing, we've got some bids on the windows. We're getting ready to start doing some of the work. So this is the moment for the select board and the community to stand up and say, we want this is important. I will say for me personally, the work the Planning Commission is doing, I try to bring a lot of the community together. And I'm finding it hard to have places to do those meetings. I tried to have a meeting here last night. It was a bit awkward, having zoning bylaw advisory committee. Most people came by Zoom. I use the library a lot, but they're saying they're overbooked. I can only have it once a month now. So we don't have capacity right now as a community to do the things we dream of. And the connection we know is so important at a time like this for our democracy to work. So that's my comments on funding. And I feel like that money's available. We just need to do the work and we need the support for to do it. Anything you would add, Lisa?
Thank you, Sue. That was great.
Yeah, that was wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah.
Eileen?
Yeah, I'm wondering about the municipal bond bank versus or possibly in addition to the USDA facility loan. Are we thinking about doing both, or is it a one or the other kind of thing? And what's the benefit or downside to one or the other?
Well, I'll let Karen say more, but there's a couple of things that speak to us about this. One is the cost of money. So that's the first one. The other one is the ability to pay back a loan sooner. So when you have a bond, you're committed to that schedule. You can't pay it back and reduce the cost of the overall loan. With a USDA loan, we would be able to pay that back and it would reduce the cost. So it's about interest rates and availability of the funds. So we're busy watching both of those. And the schedule right now is to go for a vote on a bond or a loan. I don't know if we would do both, but I wouldn't rule anything out at this point. That would be in the fall. So what we want to do is do a capital campaign that can raise as much money as we can to make the amount of money we need to borrow or in a loan or bond as small as we can.
Okay, so we would do one or the other.
Probably,
yes.
Probably, yes.
Yeah,
I mean, the federal government is doing things differently these days. Who knows what's happening in November, but that would be the base case.
Okay.
Karen, did you want to add anything to that?
No, I just, my hope is if we borrow, the interest rate will be lower in November. But I did get rates from the bond bank today, and I'm actually surprised, and I'm not shocked. So I'm optimistic right now. But like Sue said, we will decide which way to go. I like the idea of the USDA loan because, we can continue fundraising and just pay it off and not have any debt. But
Yeah, my question has to do with what's the last capital campaign the town has done?
You mean the town or the town?
The town. What's been our success in the past with raising money via capital campaigns?
So I can just say we did the fundraising for the pool.
Yeah.
Right after COVID, remember we had to
Yeah,
have
and
it all
what
repaired?
was that?
That was,
How much was it?
it was $80,000.
Okay.
I can tell you that the library just raised $40,000 for their annual campaign.
Uh-huh.
And I know the Historical Society has done fundraising as well.
The two projects, the general store and Next Stage. With the general store, we raised about 300,000 from about 400 plus people. Next Stage raised a little more, I think, from local sources with a few less people. That's the ballpark of what
that's helpful.
I felt was very doable. But I welcome Sue's optimism, and because the truth is, forgive me, I feel like we need to say that, our initial cost estimates for the dream that Andrea just described were more like coming in at $4 million, right? And that, it just didn't seem feasible. It didn't seem reasonable or feasible. And so as a committee, I think we looked at what we think is a reasonable amount and number, and 2.5 is what we came up with. We went back to the design team and said, okay, what can we do for that? And we had to cut out a lot. We're still sort of horse trading. I think there are many ideas. Andrea has many ideas for how we can figure that out. But I think on the other side, there's the possibility that we might be, I think this is a very, very doable, the 2.5 seems very doable to me. And without too onerous a bond or loan. If we do really well, we may be able to add more things back, or reduce the loan, so.
In a simple analysis, when I did this, looking at, the fundraising plan that we have already gets us to, needing just actually 1.2 million. So I said, all right, we get 200,000 from a capital campaign. That means $1 million from a bond or a loan. If we raise $1 million from a capital campaign, we might only need $200,000 from a bond and a loan. So they're really playing off each other. I mean, it's like the goal is to get as much as we can to reduce in a capital campaign. I think $1 million is doable. I've been involved in campaigns otherwise, and I think you don't just look within the town. There are ways to find money to support what we're trying to do, and donors who can provide that kind of funding. And I've done a lot of fundraising in my life, and I always say never shoot too low. Because actually, I more often than not get the full amount of money because I could make the case for it and I knew it was available. So I believe we can do it. But having support from the community is key.
And what is the plan for getting that support? Like what?
We're about to have a meeting with a really excellent fundraising firm who is just like the premier firm in the state. And we're hoping to get a proposal from them that we can.
And what about engaging the community?
Is
that part of it? That's part of the plan.
They would help us create.
Help us do that, engaging.
We would all be
Yeah.
Players in that, obviously.
We need a range of champions for the project.
Right.
I guess I would say that's a real strategy, is to have a range of champions. And the champions, I hope, are in this room, but not only. Right? So we need to reach into the community, people who would have some excitement for this to help us be part of this fundraising, because generally you need to use the larger social network really to reach where the money might be available.
I got two hands on the line. Mr. Fairman?
Mr. Chairman, two questions and a comment. First question is, the renovation of the Londonderry Town Hall was mentioned as being exemplary. How much did that cost?
I believe it cost about $1.8 million.
Thank you. And this one would be addressed to our town manager. You mentioned you checked bond rates today. How much?
Okay, Mr. Behrman. So on 2.6 million, a 15-year note, 3.50%. If we went with a 30-year note, it'd be 4.47%.
Given their tax advantages, that surprises me a bit because the standard 4-week Treasury bills right now are just over 3%, are paying just over 3%. But anyway, and the comment is, I feel we have learned this evening that we really do need to budget for and spend the money on fire sprinklers and floor reinforcement so that the upstairs meeting room can be used for a capacity of greater than 50. It's the sort of thing where if we don't do it now, we'll probably never be able to do it. And really, limiting a room to just 50 people attending the meeting, whatever it may be, that is really, really tight. Let's say it's a historical society event that lots of people want to attend. Well, okay, you could move it to Next Stage Arts. This is true, but why limit it to 50 if we can spend a little more money and raise it to 100? So I'll be reminding us of that as we move forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
Eileen?
Yeah, I just want to some more clarity on the funding sources you've got here. You've got total funding of 728. That's what we've already secured. And then you've got a projected funding of 808. That's money that you're planned to go out for, but we don't have yet. And does that include the capital campaign?
No, it does not.
Okay, good. So the total potential funding that we're hoping that we get, that the town doesn't have to put out for, is 1.5 million, basically.
Roughly, yes.
So the town would be looking to, worst case scenario, the town would be looking to bond $1 million. Is that right?
Well, no, I'm not, no, I don't want to say yes to that because we still have opportunity for more grant funding.
Sure. Worst case, I meant just worst case. It would be $1 million.
Yeah. In terms of what the bond would be, is that what you were saying?
No,
Yeah.
what we have to borrow, yes.
Yeah, borrow. We have to borrow.
The gap that we've got here is $1 million. Worst case scenario.
Right here on this timeline we do, but.
Yeah. Yep. It doesn't bother me. That's in the scheme of things, that's actually a pretty small number to overcome, one way or the other.
I think 1.5 would be a conservative number to think about that it might end up at, especially if, as Mr. Fairman says, we want to add back in floor reinforcement and sprinkler system. And
so Eileen, we don't want to stick to that 1 million because there's alternates that have been set aside, to get us to the $2.5 million. Now, depending on funding and capital fundraising, we may be able to put that back in. The number right now is 2.5 million. And if we can reduce it, fine. If we have more grant funding and a great successful fundraising campaign, we may put alternates back in. So it's I don't want to say we're looking at $1 million because
I'm not holding anybody to a number. I was just
you start talking about that and sometimes people do.
Yeah.
So
Andrea?
Yeah, I just wanted to add that we're kind of racing against the clock too, because the cost of construction, unfortunately, in Vermont never goes down. The only thing that changes is the rate at which it increases. And so, if this waits longer, and the town is, holds to a particular number, then there is a concern that more of the components of the project would need to be removed from the project. So just the construction market, construction in Vermont is really expensive for good reasons, but I just want to caution a little bit about, the first numbers that we put out are always scary, and they're the ones everybody remembers. And we're working really hard to bring, the scope of the work into alignment with the numbers that Sue and Karen are suggesting.
Eileen?
Yeah, I'm not suggesting that this is a scary number. I'm quite encouraged that that's where we're at. Yeah, I'm not trying to say we shouldn't do it. I'm actually encouraged by that number because, like I said, it's not, in the scheme of things, it's a pretty easy number to get down one way or the other. So that's all I'm saying. I think this is a really feasible project. I support it wholeheartedly.
Thank you.
I was going to say, Eileen, thank you. I think it's really helpful. We wanted to kind of get the temperature of the select board here about this as we go forward. We'll come back to you with a capital campaign plan. I mean, that's our next step. But we wanted you to know this is where we are. We're excited that we've got 30% towards what we think is a good project. We have a pathway to do the rest of it. We have a great team to move it forward. We have momentum. It would be very hard to ever rebuild this again. We're there. We're running. We've had your support, and we really hope. Thank you, Eileen, for that. And we hope that we will have the support of others, particularly as we go into this town meeting. We're getting, talking to the public about it, getting a sense of how important this is to people.
So that was my last and only other question, was just about town meeting and how you, kind of what you're envisioning there.
Almost the same as this right here. It'll be a talking point. It's towards the end of the meeting. Hopefully people will stay. But, we'll have
a table.
Yeah, we're gonna have a table on display, and, we'll be talking about it on the floor.
Okay. Cool. Thank you for
Thank
all
you.
your work.
Thank you.
Yeah, you really gave us a vision, right? I really appreciated that.
So can I just ask a question and just see, raise your hand if you're like warm and fuzzy about this, or you just kind of
Feel warm. Am I to raise my hand if I'm fuzzy?
Yeah. So Peg, you're good?
Yeah, I'm enthusiastic about
Fletcher?
it. Yeah.
Seems like you're on the right track.
I think something's got to be done. I mean, we definitely need to perk things up around here.
Thank you very much.
Thumbs up.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lisa, Sue,
you, Karen.
Andrea. Thank you very much for joining our meeting.
Thank you, Andrea.
Good night, everyone.
We still got a bunch of
Good night.
Thank you.
I know.
And thank you, Karen, for writing this.
Yeah.
Because you are the face behind it.
No,
Really.
we are the
appreciate
team.
it.
This is, what we do.
It's quite a
All right, we're gonna take a 5-minute break.
Thank you. How's the time?
Yeah. All right, we're back. Next up, VTrans annual highway mileage certification. Karen.
So in your packet, this is our annual certification of our town road mileage. And every year we fill this out because we get funding from the state of Vermont. And we anticipate $144,508.45. That comes in quarterly payments straight to the town. Part of our revenue stream in the highway budget, and I recommend you folks sign, approve, and sell this. So we have money.
Nothing's changed, has it?
No, we have not added any new roads and we have not taken any off.
You need a motion?
Yes, I do, sorry.
Okay.
I move that we sign the certificate of highway mileage as presented to us. Okay.
Second.
That's good.
Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, next up, proposals for auditor review and recommendation.
So in your packet, we received 2 proposals for audit services. One is a repeat R.H.R. Smith, and then Bachelor Associates. We've had R.H.R. Smith now for 6 years, so I mean, we're accustomed to their process, and we got a really excellent, evaluation from
Review,
them.
so let's keep them.
Yes. They're a little less expensive. I don't have any history of the other firm. Sometimes I think that we should just change, every now and again, just to see if, with a different set of eyes, maybe a different process, if, there's anything different. But given the cost, it's pretty close, but I would suggest that we stay with R.H.R. Smith.
The only question I have is why is the rate of increase of cost so different between them? Looks like R.H.R. goes up faster than Bachelor.
Well,
Start higher.
Fletcher, they've been around like 14,000, so their price has increased. Because when I first saw it, I'm like, wow, that's like, $9,000. But I think 2 and 3 years, you might see them as expensive or, as much as another firm. I think they're just catching up.
We'll keep our eye on it next year.
Yeah.
So this is a 3-year contract, folks.
In 3 years, we'll keep our eye on
We'll
it.
still look next year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I make a motion that we contract with R.H.R. Smith for auditing services for the next 3 years.
Second.
Public comment? Eileen? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, second quarter FY 26 financial reports.
So here are your reports, the way you like them. Where's mine? I wanted to highlight some, where did they go? There they are. Overall, so we're more than halfway through, but this report is for 6 months. Overall, I don't think we're too bad. There are a couple areas that are over budget, but my hope is that they'll stay within range. They're like the tax listing office, well, I have page 3. Yeah. You can see like office supplies is way over. You know, that could be a computer and attorney fees. So we still have 3 pending appeals still happening. So we've been tracking the expense, and that's why it's over. So, again, I will state that, you know, if we're over on a line item or in a department, usually we can justify why.
Usually?
Usually, well, I can. But, you know, like page 4 development or the zoning, right? Again, you know, supplies are a little high. That could be, well, it's not postage, but. So I would look at that line item, the detail, and see what's going on. Sometimes things get mischarged to a line item too, so we have to journal entry it to the right place. Page 5, public safety is, you know, it's at 55%. Am I worried about it? No. You can see like the sheriff's department, sometimes they bill like, you know, earlier, so it just hits differently. Firefighting, couple line items there, they're over budget. Firefighting overall is at 61%. You know, my usual and customary in January is if you don't need it, don't spend it. So, there has been some equipment that was needed down there, so I think that'll level off. But again, you know, as long as the bottom line is still within range of 50%, I don't worry about individual line items. Some you'll see line items are at 100%. That's usually, you know, an annual like assessment or something, transfer, you know, to our capital reserves. So, you know, capital expenditures for the general fund, 57.15%. Oh, total expenditures, 55.37. So it's a little high, but like I said, I'm not going to worry about that right now. When I get into the next quarter, and then I'll really start paying attention.
And why is the rec stuff?
Because it's weird, because July, August, right? They close at the end of August, so most of their expenses have already been absorbed. So June, we'll open the pool like mid-June.
Yeah.
There'll only be 2 weeks. So
that's why it seems like we should have spent more by now.
Well, it rained.
Yeah.
What can I say? You know, we didn't have a leak in the pool, and the water stayed in the pool. It was great. So,
I just want to make sure people are recreating enough.
Yes. So were there any questions or any like gotchas in the general fund?
I'm not seeing any.
Highway fund.
Yeah.
So page 2, operating equipment expenses. We've had some large invoices to repair and maintain our trucks. So that's a justifiable expense. Gravel pit operating expense, it's at 82%. I don't understand why. I gotta look at the detail. I think something may have been charge there? I don't know, this doesn't make any sense to me, but. So highway general maintenance, they're at 66%, which is high, a little high. I think they'll come back down.
And I hope we don't have any more problems with bridges.
Well, we haven't got to the spring yet, so. Yeah, so bridge maintenance rate, those are for culverts. And is that 94%? So what happened with that is there was an invoice that did not get paid in the right fiscal year. And it was too late to back bill it. So that was a lesson learned right there. Page 3, again, town garage, 57%. The agency assessment, Brookline taxes, Dummerston taxes, I mean, you can't, those are just guesstimates. And then capital and debt service, they're at 94%, but that's because, transfers were made to reserves and some of the, all of the last payment was made on the dump truck, so. But overall, where's his, so total expenditures are at 54%. So I think that one will come in line again. Although they have had more expenses this year than last year, unexpected. The library, there's a copy in here for you folks. So they're at 58% expenditures. And then the sewer department. Overall, it's 52%, which is on track.
Why are the revenues so down?
So, quarterly billing, so Rob, we just billed.
Okay.
And it's not in here for December. Okay. So, because they have 30 days.
Yeah.
So the water department, I have my eye on it, let's just say that. We've had some repairs, we've purchased meters. I will look at that because some of that might be able to come out of reserve funds. That budget's at 66.23%. So that one's a little high.
Yeah. What is the 700% for heat?
Yeah, so I can explain that. So wastewater treatment, so Sandhill is for water, that's our water. They have a 250 gallon tank that heats the building. And then HB Energy, the 1,000 gallon tank that is fuel for the generator, that's what that expense is. That's why it's so high, because I didn't anticipate it last year, but we had to get the generators hooked up, and so that is the cost for filling up 1,000 gallon tank. That's why we're over.
Yeah.
My hope is we don't have to fill them up for a while. And Joe did tell me, because he looked at the wastewater treatment plant, and he said the dial on the propane tank is barely moved. So.
Since when?
When did we hook that up? Was it December? November. So. So the generators only kick on once a week. and they just use a little bit of gas, propane, and then they shut off.
Alrighty.
So those are your budgets.
Okay. Moving on. Select Board old business, town warning article distribution to select board members.
Oh my gosh, I didn't put that in the packet. Darn. Rachel, can you please, like, print off a copy of the town warning? I prefer to have you folks, decide who's going to take which article before town meeting. Before the public informational meeting.
Right.
So there's 12. Yeah, sorry about that, folks. I totally spaced that one. I hear a movement, right?
Mm-hmm.
Good.
No, you're just hearing things.
Oh, man. We do have mice.
It's a big house.
Yeah, I apologize for the delay. My mistake. Yeah, and Eileen's not, she won't have any articles, so.
Well, that's great.
She's like.
Should be very busy.
Not it.
All right, let me go check, just to make sure.
We've done all of this. We've done all of this.
Good thing it's on the agenda.
Yep.
Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
Many things.
All right.
I gotta sign that, I assume. Is that what we're signing?
This is just for, oh, there.
Certificate, I assume.
It's just so funny. A little place, this one here needs a signature.
Karen, the Green Mountain Power, are we all signing this?
Yes, you are.
Just anywhere on here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Hopefully you put enough lines in there.
And this one too, just somewhere, anywhere.
Start with that.
Okay. So we're just divvying these up, right?
Yes.
We doing that now or just by the next meeting?
If you want to, well, no, how are you gonna decide?
I don't know.
I mean, there's only 12, right? And honestly, like Article 4, you start at Article 4, right?
Right, so we
And
have,
go to 11,
yeah.
because I think Meg takes Article 12, right? Article 1 is Meg. Article 2, Ray. Yeah, You should probably decide now because you do have to do the public informational meeting as well.
Does anybody feel strongly about doing any of them or not doing any of them?
So, yeah, basically you read it.
Yeah.
And then there's discussion. So some of these, like Yellow Barn, right? There should be somebody there to speak about that.
Same with the gun club.
Gun Club, somebody should speak about it, but you as select board just read the article.
So doesn't Meg read the article and we just... thought that's...
Does she read it?
She reads it and then
She
we...
reads it, then it's gotta be moved.
Yeah, we move
Right.
it.
And
And then there's discussion.
then she usually restates it.
Yeah. So she does... All we have to do is move it and then
Well,
answer
we
any
move it,
questions.
but we move it as it's printed as the article.
Right.
Right,
So-
but individual select board moves the article.
Right.
Right, all right,
I'll move the gun club.
okay. Fletcher,
Whatever, because it, you know, just, it doesn't seem to matter, you know, it's not as though we have to
Champion for it.
champion or, yeah, no, we
Right.
just have to move it. I'll do Yellow Barn.
okay,
I'll do food shelf.
all right, hang
I'm
on.
talking about
So
food
this is
shelf.
Peg. The food shelf is 6.
I'll do 9.
9 is Eric. Okay,
What do we got left?
We gotta do the GMP one.
Yeah, do we have 2 GMPs
Yeah,
there?
the 10
which one are
fell
you
off.
doing?
Me?
Fletcher, what number?
Where are
Gun
they?
Club 8.
Yeah, I have him on that.
I'll do 10. Just-
Go after it, Peg.
I mean, it's,
I know.
It's all gonna happen. I'll do 4, why not? For just yellow numbers out.
here, I think you have it, so.
Oh my goodness, we did it.
Is there one more?
What about number 5?
I'll do 5.
Okay, so Fletcher does 5 and Bex does 4.
Who took 11?
Bex, 11, nobody yet.
Some
That's
stuff.
you, Aaron.
That's fair. Here we are. We're so good at our job.
Now, how about this non-binding thing? Is somebody gonna have to read that whole thing, or is that
I think Meg.
Meg
reads
will read the whole
Yeah.
thing? Okay. Okay.
And that's like,
One more.
yeah,
We have 2 GMPs.
so I don't even think we moved those because they're non-binding.
Right. Okay,
Just need that
then we did that,
somewhere there, I guess.
right?
Good.
Oh, is it 2
Carol, you
GMPs?
confirmed, did I just say, I said 4
Sure.
and 6?
So
I just signed it
You
all
said
in.
4 and 6, yeah, that's
Oh,
all, thank you.
stick around.
Yeah.
That's what I,
Bex
Sign
has
the
4, Fletcher has 5, Bex has 6, Peg has 7, Fletcher 8, Eric 9, Peg 10, Eric 11.
okay.
Go team go.
Be done by noon, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, we good with that?
I'm good with that.
All right, we still need executive session?
Yeah, we have 3 items.
Okay.
3 items?
They should be quick, because you're already familiar with them.
So we're going to executive session under 1 VSA 313 after making a specific finding that premature general public knowledge would clearly place the public body or person involved at substantial disadvantage. Contracts and the negotiating or securing of real estate purchase or lease options and pending or probable civil litigation and prosecution to which the public body is or may be a party. Are we making a decision? I guess, and we're inviting Karen.
Yeah, I'm not sure a decision will be rendered, but, or action. Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
Alrighty.
All right, Brian, I'm gonna. All right,
Can I hear a
so,
motion to go into executive session?
yeah,
And invite Karen.
And invite Karen.
all right.
Yes, so moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Alright, we've come out of executive session. No action taken. Next meeting is February 18th, 2026. Can I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nice.
Thank you, folks.
Everyone.